All right, Glenn. We are live on the post game show.
All right, thanks for coming in here. Post-match, Houston Dynamo, St. Louis, 0-0 tonight here. Dynamo go to 4-4-2 now. They go to 14 points. St. Louis pick up a point. They're on 13 now at 2-1-7 here tonight. So it's a goalless soccer match here tonight. Not the best of things going on here right now from a goal-scoring perspective from the Houston Dynamo. We would love to take your comments here. Tonight, Edson Ochoa has already said, well, that was something. We immediately saw the difference when Sebas Ferreira came on the field. Well, certainly having a target man there, yeah, he laid off a good ball that was followed up with a finish. So hopefully he's healthy. I think that's probably one of the positives of the night. The other positive is Hector Herrera got 45 minutes, and so the Dynamo trying to get those two guys, who are both, by the way, designated players, a bit healthy and get them back into the mix. But tonight, again, I'll just put some data out here. No goals, 22 shots for the Dynamo. A lot of these were not dangerous. St. Louis City, same thing. 7 on target for the Dynamo. That's good, an improvement. 3 for St. Louis City. A number of those on target were from longer range, although Roman Berkey did have to come up with a save or two. Especially on Daniel Steres, I think, who had a great hit. Steres also went off the crossbar in the first half. 67% of the possession for the Dynamo, 33 for St. Louis. We would expect that, I think, no question, going into this game. 19 chances created for the Dynamo, 12 for St. Louis. I'm not sure how they come up with those numbers. 72 final third entries. A lot more final third entries for the Dynamo. 12 corners in the game, only 5 for the Dynamo, 7 for St. Louis. What I would say is the start of this game here tonight, the press did yield the chances. If you're Bradley Cornell, the head coach of St. Louis, you did not punish an opponent tonight because you did have some chances that were given to you off your press. You may have earned them. Some of it was some loose play from the Dynamo, and you could have easily buried one of these chances, and it could have been your night here. I think the Dynamo continue, as we know, to play on slim margins. They have to win games 1-0. Good news is they got a shutout. Part of that's due to inefficient finishing, I think. But love to get your thoughts here if you're tuning in. Dynamo 0-0. And now it's 3 straight games without a goal. And then the prior game to that was 77th minute goal. So, you know, it really is a struggle to score goals now. So we will find out what's going to happen in the future. But, you know, honestly, in MLS, nobody's going to panic at this point. You got 14 points. We'll see where you end up being in the standings. But plenty of time to get this situation and problem solved. What do we got?
Couple comments on here. Edson, we immediately saw a difference when Sebas was on the field.
Yep, mentioned that already.
Note of the nerd. Question, Glenn, what is a goal? I thought it was...
It's when that sphere goes, that oblique, that blurry orb goes between those two posts. That's a goal. Yeah, we would like that feeling, I think. And I think the Dynamo need that right now from a confidence standpoint. You know, look, you're still playing the game without a striker. I think if Sebas Ferreira gets healthy, this is going to make everybody feel a bit better. We did see a target man lay a ball back. That never happens when Kowalczyk and Bassi are on the field because they don't get that high up the field. Ferreira now is going up against the center backs, so now balls can be played into him, and he can knock stuff down to people trailing him. But you still have to have the finish. So that's why when you're playing with withdrawn forward, it's tough, and there's a lot of keying and focus on Aliou, and you know, for him now, it's a couple of games. I think it's 4 straight without a goal, and he's begging to get a goal as well. Anything else?
Oh yeah, there's a lot on the chat. Let me go back.
All right,
to
thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate it. That's why we do it.
Footballer 503. This relies fully on the front office for not having a legitimate striker, more solid fullbacks at the right and center back, and left.
Wait, say that again.
All right,
I got the first part of it.
This relies fully on the front office for not having a legitimate striker and more solid fullbacks at the right and center back and left.
Well, we had two center backs out tonight that are two outside backs that are starters. Normally, you get a little more push. I don't think it was easy for Tate Schmidt. He's predominantly left-footed on the right. Not easy. I think Daniel Steris, he might be my man of the match simply because he headed one off the crossbar and almost hit a long-range bullet in and had the tough job of playing as a left back, right-footed, right? But I think you're right. But I think this is also part and parcel of Major League Soccer. And the other thing is, and I don't mean this in any means in a bad way, we just don't have pressure down here. We knew this was an issue last year. That got kind of masked by the great run to the Western Conference Final and winning the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. But you lost Corey Baird. There was no real replacement. The focus is now on Sebas Ferreira to come back and be your goal scorer. But in MLS, there's no panic right now. You don't have to. 4-4-2. You're 500. 500's great. If you're 500 heading into the last couple months of the season and Herrera and Ferreira are fitter and maybe scoring goals, you're going to be happy. There is only one goal scorer that is amongst this team, and that's Sebas Ferreira 2 years ago at 13. There's only one real out-and-out goal scorer on this team. It's not Coco. It's not Amin Bassi. It's not Sebastian Kowalczyk. For all the good things that they do, they're not goal scorers. And we had moments where there was great movement and mobility, these beautiful flicks and tricks around the box, pulling defenders around, but there's no finish. There's no finish. And this is what this game's about. And you know what? You can be a good collective defending team. You can be a good possession team. I want to take my cake, man. I want the goals to rain in so I can take all this other stuff that's working really well and get out of it what I want, which is wins and points. But we don't have any pressure from the media down here, so you're not going to put the pressure on the organization. I don't think the fans do, honestly, enough. I just think that's what we have created here. Could have been different from the very, very start of when this club came here, but I think that's what we've become accustomed to here. And we're happy with the status quo. And Ben Olsen could go in the press conference tonight, and he could say, hey, we had chances to win it tonight. And there's no rush to figure this out. We're hoping for Sebas to come through. We're hoping for Hector to help us create more chances. I don't think you can catch lightning in the bottle again like last year. I thought a lot of things fell into place, both earned and also the hand of fate and good fortune. Same thing happened with Austin. The year they had that great run and they nearly got to the MLS Cup final and fell in the Western Conference final. So, these are things you want in the game, I think, in a city. But there's nobody going to be writing anything that is healthy criticism about the fact that the Houston Dynamo haven't scored in 3+ games now.
All right.
It's just fact. And I'm not trying to be, for the loyalist out there, I'm not trying to be the bad guy. It just is what it is. I mean, we're on here again saying the same things.
Christopher Scrugens. Glenn, why did Ben play a left-footed winger at right back and a right-footed center back at left back?
Because Steris has been there before, and he felt that Tate Schmidt from that side of the field could get forward. He might. I guess I'm just playing coach here. I know why he played Tate Schmidt there. He said because he wanted him to get forward. They felt he could get forward better from that side of the field. For me here, I would say, this is me speaking now, you get a little width with Aliou on the left, so maybe that's why you're playing Schmidt on the right, because you want to get something from a wide standpoint over there. But, it didn't play out the way I think they wanted.
Footballer 503, I genuinely don't think Ferreira is the answer for this season. Maybe a two-striker formation, but the sole 9.
Well, I mean, first off, he's got a goal and an assist. It just was nice to see somebody, occupying a center back when he came in the game and he nodded a ball back. I don't think it was any great revelation, but I think I'd like to see him get a run of 6-7 games, and let's see if he can make the difference and if Sebas can win us over again. I will say for him, a narrow system is not the best thing for him. So unless you can get a bit of a wide game, and maybe Dorsey brings that back, I don't know if you're going to get the best out of him. So I think time will tell. But again, they have time.
Kenneth Kapner, I think this team's going to end up going as far as Sebas takes it, which is less than ideal after last year.
Last year was tough. 2 years ago he had 13 goals. He scored some pretty spectacular goals on a team that wasn't as good.
Yeah.
I don't know what the whole thing was last year with if he wasn't fit, if he didn't fit the system. He got banished to the island of misfit toys at Vasco da Gama. Didn't even score a goal down there. So let's hope if we can see him for a couple of games, we'll be able to make a judgment. We haven't been able to see him for a couple of games. We gotta see this guy for 3 or 4 games. I think in 2 games you'll very, very quickly know if he can pull it off or not, based on movement and based on kind of how the team plays around him.
I'm gonna pull his stat up real quick.
All right, what else we got here?
You're good.
Got a lot of stuff coming in. Rushan, best shot was by Sterish, yes. I don't know if you mean the blast that was knocked back or if it was his header off the corner. Chris says, okay, yeah, I see what Chris said. Okay, so anybody else got anything out there, guys? It's a really hard game to break down because, these are the kind of games, the longer you go, the more you go into a bit of a downward spiral. Because, look, we made it pretty clear in the pregame show, this was about a team that was direct. They're not going to have a lot of the ball. They're going to press you. I frankly thought they were a little bit tame. I think maybe the Dynamo gets some credit there because they held the ball pretty well against them. But, man, if you're Bradley Cornell, you're probably going, rah, 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 we got a point. Nice job, guys. I would be going, wow, what a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
They had chances. I think they had the better of the chances here tonight. Some of this came off the pressing game. Some of it came off the Dynamo being a bit loose at the back with the ball. So, I'm not sure either team deserved a clean sheet here tonight. But if I'm the road team, I'm saying I had the chances to win here tonight. I would be disappointed. I would not be happy. But, it's just the way this game goes.
Going back on Sebas, though, I feel like, look, as most soccer fans would be, they want to see results and they want to see it right now. But you have to be realistic. He's only played 141 minutes this year.
He's been injured twice. That's even the bigger thing. Is he going to stay healthy?
And what does he look like with Herrera is what I'm really excited to see. But
because we never really got to see that. No. That's a really good point. We never got to see that last year. So if Hector's got a target and a wall, but, I think there's a question around Sebas's game with his back to goal, and that is something that has to obviously improve. But look, for him, it's knocking balls back to people. If that ball then goes out wide, it's him getting into the penalty box where the ball's ultimately going to be so that he can compete and get on the end of things. That's
couple
what
things.
I see.
Jose, I want to believe the former front office woes are being fixed so we can really use the DP and U22 spots wisely. My understanding is that we are still capped from bad businesses in the past, or business moves. Footballer 503, it's like the Astros missing Maldonado right now.
Machete? No, not Maldonado. That's not who they mean. They mean Abreu.
Yeah, well, Abreu did the right thing by going down to the minors.
No, but if you're talking about a bad deal, that's a bad deal, Abreu. It's one of the worst deals that has happened in Houston, I think. And I think, by the way, Dynamo not the only ones not scoring goals. There were no runs over at Minute Maid here tonight either. So the Stros, I think, got beat 5-0 by Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Fireworks going off here down.
So if
down
there
here
is
with Star Wars night, may the Force be with you.
Couple more. Let's see. We're at 14 minutes. I was impressed with how Kenneth. I was impressed with how fast St. Louis built up in attack, and I agree about the better chances as well.
Jose says, "I pray for Sebas 2022 to come back." I like that. Me too, Jose. I'm going home. I'm going to put some incense around my house as well.
Christopher Glenn.
Sell Sebas in the summer. Hold on. Noah says sell Sebas in the summer and buy. Yeah, but Sebas has got to have value. He's got to score some goals so that there's value. Glenn, if you had your pick, what type of player would you bring in for a DP? Goal scorer. I want somebody with we just don't have that, I want to see a guy walk off the field tonight, a center forward or somebody so pissed that they didn't score, even when they win. I want that type of mentality up front. We don't have a Cucho. We don't have a Chicho. We don't have a Bawanga. We don't have any of those guys. And they're maybe even a little bit selfish. They're too nice up front, and they're not finishers. They don't have a history of finishing. That doesn't mean they're not good players. But I think our expectations have to be put in place. This is not a team whose front four has a history of scoring goals. The only guy with a history is Sebas Ferreira. That's where the money lies right now.
I'm going to get your thoughts on this. Bossi seemed out of sync. He passes when he should shoot and shoots when he should pass.
I think Kovalchuk and them, I think Coco the same thing.
Yeah.
I think Coco the same thing. I think Coco's more effective when he's pulled back, but when Hector Herrera's out there, he's pushed to a higher position. Coco's better when he's pushed back. That end product is just not, I said it repeatedly throughout the Apple broadcast I was on. By the way, does anybody ever listen to the local broadcast on Apple? But I said that repeatedly, that the final pass just wasn't there.
I know I do. If we're not working the Dynamo matches.
Oh, great. There's one.
Yeah. No, any game that I'm watching, if we're not doing anything.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I like the local call.
Yeah.
I like to support it. St. Louis brought their
they had two
radio
booths.
team here tonight. They're breaking their game down in the booth next door, right down here, right down that way.
Rashawn,
so
we need a Chucho-like. Look, Chicho Hernandez is,
Cucho, Chicho, we'll take any
Cucho.
of them.
Cucho's a different beast for Columbus.
Yeah, so here's an example of him at Monterey. First 9 minutes of the game, they come out playing well. This guy gets the ball. He makes a chance for himself against two defenders, flashes it just wide of the post. But to me, that's a statement, right? That's a statement. So, the way this team has been built, great collective defending. I'm not sure it's a high-risk team. Great possession team now. And I think you'll get more chances when Hector's here and fit. But the question is, will you take advantage of him? And listen, a guy that needed a second go-round to be your center forward last year, Corey Baird, ended up with 8 goals, is now at Cincinnati. So we basically, the 8-goal score went away, and the Vasco da Gama loan with Sebas is come back. So, I think Sebas deserves fairness and an opportunity to play the striker position for a couple of games, and let's see how it goes.
Corey only has 1 goal so far.
Yeah, and I didn't think Corey was going to go to Cincinnati and be a big goal scorer.
751 minutes.
And that's playing with Luciano Acosta. Yep. He has 1 goal.
Also, guys, again, be sure to like, subscribe, follow on YouTube so you'll get notified when we do go live for pre and post matches. If it's 7:30 kickoff, we go live at 7 for the pregame show. Postgame show 5-10 minutes after the final whistle.
By the way, where are you guys catching the Open Cup tomorrow? Because I guess that's got to be on, maybe ESPN Plus? Not tomorrow, Tuesday against Detroit. Yeah, it's got to be somewhere. Yeah, it may be on Paramount. Detroit City FC.
So, not that I want to dive too much into the Open Cup, but get out here, get to the stadium. I like seeing some of these lower division games.
Yeah, we love the Open Cup, and we're the defending champions. That's why I wish there was more going on with it. But, by the way, again, Monday and Wednesday, 6 o'clock Central Time, Soccer Matters. The likes, the phone calls, this engagement that you guys bring, we really appreciate it. And I'm going to make a plea here for you guys to help spread the lore of this game and help support this programming, because that's really what keeps it going. And I'll tell you, we got a crazy good summer. We got Copa America. We got Brazil and Mexico up in College Station. You got Inter Miami and Tigres. You got Dynamo and Leagues Cup against Atlas. There's a lot going on. You got the Dash tomorrow. But let's put football in the forefront. The actual game. Let's put the game in the forefront. And demand things.
My mic was off when I said that, but yeah, make sure you go like, subscribe, follow on YouTube. You'll get notified.
Okay, everybody, hope you have a great rest of the weekend. Thank you very much for all your contributions here. You made it a lot of fun here. Hey, till the next time. Monday night, 6 o'clock Central on ESPN 97.5. Thanks.